fall because...
Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to the December 19th meeting of the Personnel Board. I'm Lorna Wade, the chair.
Lou Smoker.
Jim Dunn.
Peter Fox.
And
Michelle.
I would like you to look at the minutes for November 11th, 2017. I'm assuming that you've had the time to look them over. If not, would you quickly look them over, and then I'll entertain a motion to accept them as presented or amended.
So move.
So moved. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Minutes have been approved. There are no appointments and resignations. There are no citizens present for comments. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Want to introduce yourself?
Mary Beth Marziotti.
Old business, on December 6th, Mr. Fox and I had the pleasure of meeting with Steve Shaplowski, who is the administrative assistant to the police chief. We presented him with the employee's handbook, went over some pertinent information, and as he had not had the opportunity to read it over, we suggested he read it over and sign the final page, which he has, and we will meet with him this morning, right after this meeting, to see if he has any questions about the handbook. And so that went well. And under new business, we have that in future orientations to new employees that we will be doing them personally, not have a secretary do them. Mm-hmm. We will sit down with the new employees, and we will give them the handbook and explain important information within the handbook and have that opportunity to sit and talk with them, introduce them to pertinent individuals that they should know within the town hall. And I'm sure, Peter, would you continue doing that with me?
Sure.
And anybody else who'd like to join us is free to do that. But we feel that that's an important aspect of welcoming new employees into the Dudley system. Mm-hmm. So that is what we were going to do. Employee evaluations. I have received one employee evaluation. And so because we don't have an official secretary, there has been not that reminder that has gone out. And I've asked Michelle if she could kindly just send a memo to everybody within the town hall that has to fill out a self-evaluation, and their supervisors to finish those as ASAP. We need them by the beginning of the year so that we can move forward on that. Mm-hmm. The employee handbook, which I've asked you to look at, I would like us to start working on that at the start of the new year, not as part of our business meeting, because I don't believe that's appropriate for business meetings. I'm not looking for everybody to do that. If everybody wants to do that's fine. But if not, I'm going to look at it, and I'll take volunteers from the committee who'd like to work on that with me. Is anybody interested? Peter?
I am.
Yeah.
All right. You also, Mary Beth? All right. So we'll set up a time in January that we start working. Any changes that we might make, obviously, we'll bring to the board. And there are some issues that I want to discuss, which I am open to say right here. I think looking at the progressive discipline is an issue that think we need to discuss, and maybe we have to draw on other people who might have to be involved in some feedback and discussion before we work that over.
I would think Greg would want some input on that.
I would think so, and there may be other individuals.
Speaking of Greg. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So we will set a date in January to start doing that, and I will email both of you and we'll set up a time.
Why don't you just, if I could make a recommendation, just repeat pretty much what you just said, because Greg just came in, so that he's aware of what we're going to do.
We feel that there's a need to look over the employee handbook to update it in any way that may be necessary. And so Peter and Mary Beth and I will work on it, and Jim also. Yep. We'll work on that, and then we've think that you might want to be involved in that process also.
Yeah, and I think probably at some point we'll want to get input from our employees and our department heads.
Well,
maybe not in the very beginning, but before something becomes finalized.
I think there are some issues in there that will need feedback
Yeah.
from other people to maybe update and to maybe clarify certain issues with more, to provide more clarity to certain issues that are in the employee handbook, and I think we'll need that input.
I'm willing to help out also.
All right, so at the beginning of the new year, once the holidays are settled, I'll contact people to set up a date when we can start looking at it.
Okay, and we have the most updated version electronically that we can send
Right, we
out.
do.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other board members' comments?
Through the chair, if possible, when the agenda comes out,
Yes?
to have that put on or in the town website.
All right.
Because lots of members, or especially the Board of Selectmen, they get the agenda, and that way they can prepare themselves ahead of time. So if there's something on the agenda that they can review and discuss, they're a little bit more prepared than if they just get the agenda the night of the meeting or the morning of the meeting.
That makes sense.
If that's possible.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, Michelle. Is there any other business? If not, our next meeting will be on January 15th, 2018. I would like to thank all of you for putting in diligent work to make this committee, this board rather, run smoothly. Michelle, I'd like to thank you for stepping in and taking minutes for us and posting agendas. I appreciate that. And Peter, I'd like to thank you also for joining the board as an alternate and working with us. And Greg also.
I do have a question, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Where are we with hiring a new Joan?
Well, I was going to speak to Greg right after the meeting concerning that.
Question, I have to catch up on that, I haven't had a chance to.
Okay, because I've been asking Michelle to fill in, and right now, I have received one evaluation, and that was something Joan reminded all personnel to fill out their self-evaluations and their supervisors, and so that needs to be addressed, and there's some filing that has to be done and so forth, so as soon as that we would appreciate that.
Okay.
Yes, Jim?
I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and all the employees, I hope they have a great and safe Christmas.
Zach?
And just so you know, I have a conflict for your next meeting, so anything I do, I'll do in writing for the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Fortunately, I have a doctor's appointment that
Thank you
day.
so much.
Thank you.
And we also, as a board, would like to wish all the citizens and the town of Dudley a Merry Christmas. And I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
how come you didn't say aye?